Thanks for staying with us. On this segment, we have the chairman of Agboyi, Ketu LCDA Mayor Dele Osinowo. He'll be speaking on how the recently granted local government autonomy would impact government at the grassroots level. We'll also be looking at some of the talking points that has greeted the landmark judgment by the Supreme Court, the implementation of the judgment, the fact that it's being reported that the federal government and state governors may agree to a 3-month moratorium on the local government autonomy, because this has a concern and many other concerns that has arisen from the impact of this policy. Also, the concern about salary payments, operational viability, and so much more. Welcome to the show, Mr. Dele, Mayor Dele Osinowo. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
We're not in your constituency, but you are close enough to us that we can be impacted by the good work you do in that area. We've had many concerns, but first I want to start with you telling us your opinion of the judgment when it came. What did you feel? How did you think? Were you excited? Did you feel like this was necessary or not necessary?
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for inviting me to your show. The judgment is a welcome, is a positive thing for the local government in Nigeria as a whole. But I can tell you categorically, Lagos has been financially autonomous for over 10 years or more than that. And you can see the impact on what we have been doing in Lagos State. And this has shown in our deliverables. In my own local government now, my local government has been able to go into housing development, and we've done that. We actually commissioned about 101 units in December, and we're doing another one on this Friday. So this is part of the impact. And most of the local government will be free to do whatever they want. You know, in Lagos State, we do our projects. There's no interference from the governor.
Really?
Yes, there's no interference from the governor. Lagos State has been, you know, I came in 2017, and since then, and before then, I was the secretary to the local government of Agboyi Ketu LCDA. So I'm part and parcel of the last 14 years. And I can tell you that Lagos has been autonomous. We are able to do our thing, we are guided by the law, and we're free to do our projects. So any amount we think we can afford, the local government can afford.
I think Lagos is peculiar because, you know, you have LCDAs. Most other states stick to the local government. The 774 local governments do not extend to the LCDAs, and it's continuously argued amongst, certain fora where this decision comes up. How does this development affect the LCDAs particularly? Yes,
in Lagos State, I don't think it's going to make any changes because there's still more interpretation that needs to come from the Supreme Court. You can see recently there's another judgment that says that local government chairman must spend 4 years. And if you look at some other states, they are doing 3 years. Lagos State actually started with 3 years, but it was reverted back to 4 years. That was about 7 years ago or 8 years ago. And Lagos is a space setter in this, in local government administration. And you can see that this is what other local government are copying, are studying. They do come to Lagos to see what we're doing. And I believe with this judgment, you see a lot of development coming from the grassroots. There's no way development will come up without the grassroots. If you go to any Western world, whatever democracy they are practicing, governance starts from the local government. Housing estates, caring for the elderly, and all that must go to the local government. We are the closest to the grassroots. And without the local government, the federal government cannot do anything. Any project the federal government is doing or they want to try to do is domiciled in the local government, and even the state. So that's the reason why you can see a robust partnership between the Lagos State government and the local government, in Lagos State and the LCDA. And if you look at what we're doing now, we're doing 114 roads simultaneously across Lagos State. The first phase has been rolled out, and this is part of what we're saying. So at the local government, with the autonomous, most of the local governments across the federation, you see that there will be development coming up. People will be able to see the impact of governance.
Fantastic. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so I know this doesn't affect you because you said that you guys have been autonomous for a while now. But then I also want to get your own thoughts on the reports that the federal government and the state governors have signed and agreed to a 3-month moratorium for local governments to, because of the impact of salary payments and operational viability. Do you think that this is enough time for them to balance their books and make sure that everything is in order for the local government to take over? And
Yes, you see, because the law is new, the judgment is new, so they need an implementation period. So they need to fight, because in Lagos State, we have what they called a unified system of paying salaries. So the salary, even in Lagos State, the salary will be paid before we even receive our allocation.
Oh, wow.
So it's a unified system. So other states have their different ways of paying the salary. So they need to harmonize it. It needs to reverse back to the local government if we want to do that. So they need to set up a committee, there must be a working document that shows how
The new policy will be implemented.
the new policy will be implemented.
Okay, so let's talk about your work within your local government,
Okay.
right? So aside the 101 housing scheme that you've just done, what else? What are the other aspects? What other aspect are you going to focus on?
Apart from,
What's next?
actually, as I said, 101 was commissioned in December. We're doing 170 on Friday. That's on Friday. And we have ongoing housing projects. Apart from that, there are a lot of infrastructural development.
Well, let me just even
Apart from
that
housing,
infrastructural
Yes.
road.
Please, let's stay with that housing scheme because
Yeah.
I really want people to, what's in it for the residents within your LCDA? Because some will look at the housing scheme and say it might not benefit, it's not affordable, it's not for us. They have built it for them, or some people will benefit from it. How does it benefit the people?
Okay, so
your
at
LCDA?
the beginning, we look at the whole concept, and I said, listen, we can't be. There's nothing like low-cost housing again, because the cost of construction is astronomical, and we said, okay, let's go for affordable housing. So we actually partner with a developer, and we all agree that okay, the equity participation of Agboyi Ketu will be reduced. I mean, will be discounted. I mean, don't let me use reduced. Will be discounted so that the apartment can be affordable to the people of Agboyi Ketu. So we actually started at 16 million naira.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, and when they started approaching us, they're asking for mortgage. And we said, no need for mortgage, because if you're getting a mortgage, the cost of servicing that mortgage will be like 20 million or 30 million, servicing 16 million naira. So we decided to spread, we asked them to key in to pay minimum of 10% and to spread the amount over 2 years. So,
Like a
or
rent
sometime, no, it's not rent to own. I mean, during the construction period. So you can be paying bit by bit. By the time the construction was completed, they gave you, your key was, the key was handed over to the buyer. So we started paying, and I can tell you within 6 months of the commencement of the project, about 50% has actually subscribed. So from there, they need to review the cost of the cost of construction, and they increase it to 18 million. So by the time it gets to 18 million, we're able to achieve 80% subscription. So by the time they're commissioning it, I think they have only 5% left. Yes. So the final, I think the final one that was sold there was about 21 million naira. So this is what we have done for them to make it affordable to our community. So it is intentional that people in Agboyi Ketu environment around Ketu must be able to get a place there.
Okay,
so this is what we have done,
so
and we are deliberate about it.
So I want us to go back to talking about the policy, the local government's policy, because we also want, a lot of people watching us now will be able to finally ask someone who is being impacted on how the policy works. I remember that we were laughing about how your state's local government has said that they've signed their own funds. Is that legal? Is that right? Do you feel it is appropriate?
To me, it is not. It is not legal. It is not, because there's a judgment, and we must obey the judgment. And this is the Supreme Court. This is not where you can appeal, that you want to appeal the judgment. The Supreme Court is the final, the final place where you can get your...
but even with that, the governors resisted this. You know, the governors, they could not, they kept arguing salaries and all of that. and including your governor, they have an agreement with the federal government now that they should put a stop to it, a temporary stop to it for 3 months, before it can take effect. What do you think about that?
The reason why, I think we should get it right, part of the reason why they gave that 3 months is for all of them to conduct election. And you can see all the states are running around announcing election dates and all those things. So they need, so that the payment can be made directly to them, because it should stop coming to the JAC account. So they need to make that payment. They need to conduct the election. They need to come up with a working document that will help them implement, that will allow them to implement that judgment.
Okay, so this JAC account you mentioned now, how did it work originally? And the case of Lagos is excluded because you said it works well. But how does it work? What's the sharing formula? So now,
the payment that is due to the state and the one that is due to the local government comes together into one account. The state will take their own. Then there's what they call JAC meeting between with all the local government and the Accountant General and the Commissioner for Finance. We all sit together. We look at the sharing formula, what we need to do, especially the salaries, our contribution to SUBEB, our contribution to LOMA and all that. We'll agree on what we need to pay for that month. So we'll sign it off, and we'll release the payment to all these agencies or subsidiaries. So then the rest come to our local government. So directly, and there's nothing like states said, okay, I want to show amount from it. But in other states, I can't really tell you this is how it works. But I can tell you that Lagos State, we're fine with what we're doing. The payment comes to us, we agree. The governor doesn't get involved in whatever we're doing. In the sharing formula, it doesn't get involved. So even if they want to increase staff salary, we have to sit on the round table. The last one governor announced, we all had a meeting, a conference meeting. We all agreed that, okay, this is what we can contribute to it. At the end of the day, we all signed off. And there's evidence for that. Everything that we have been doing, we agree with the Lagos State, it's been signed off that, okay, this is our own part. This is what we are contributing to it. So even for governor to make any announcement that have to do with salary to staff, he has to call us, he has to have a meeting with us and agree with us on how.
You're not compelled to hand it over?
No.
Yes.
Never.
So it's a good thing to hear that you have autonomy within your local government, and then that means you're able to impact your people and, actually know what's going on with them and know how to help them. So, and I can see that you're doing something, your LCG, which has to do with We Lift 400. Can you elaborate more on what that is?
Okay, now We Lift 400 is recent. We've started We Lift program. It's a trader support scheme about close to 7 years now, and we've been doing it every year. So at least, so far now, we've been able to support 6,000 homes, and we're doing another one in 2 weeks' time called We Lift 1,000. We actually partner with Momo PSB, so we are giving out 50,000 naira to each resident of Agboyi Ketu. We've done 400. We've done this year alone. We've actually disbursed 75 million naira to the residents of Agboyi Ketu, and by this we're actually partnering with banks. We've partnered with Sterling Bank, Providus, and you can get it twice because your BVN is there, your NIN is to collect your NIN. So by the time we put your name on the system, it will pop up that you've collected.
It will be really nice to have residents of Agboyi to call into the show to attest to, because it is easy to call out when we feel nothing is working, and but rather than acknowledge when something has worked. I wanted to ask you about I'm trying to understand how this policy will work based on what you understand of it. The fact that we have LGA and LCDA in Lagos State. So the law, that's not a law, the judgment says that the LGA will be getting funds directly. How would that impact on LCDA?
Yes. Now,
and the workings of the current LCDA in Lagos State?
Yes. Now, there's an existing arrangement by, and the existing arrangement was a creation of Lagos State House of Assembly, and there's a law that is backing it up. So if the fund is coming to the local government, the fund will be, there's going to be a working document that shows what Koshofe should send to Agboyi, Ketu, and to Ikusushere. But this is what they're going to do for the next 3 months. They need to work out another modality on how it's going to work. Because I can tell you that the impact of 37 LCDA is enormous, which has contributed to the development of grassroots governance in Lagos State. But there's no any intention of reverting it back. You know, there's no any intention. We've had a meeting with the governor, and there's nothing like, okay, we are reverting back to.
Okay, we'll take a break.
LG.
When we return, we'll continue with this topic, and maybe we'll try and talk more about what exactly LCDA does, what exactly LGA does, so that we inform the audience. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. So before we went on a break, I asked Mayor Dele Osinowo a question about, I'm trying to understand, you've educated me on the funding process of LG to LCDA. Now, please educate us all on the division of labor. I think that's the best way to put it. What is LGA doing right now, and what is the LCDA doing, so that those watching can know what to hold the local government chairman accountable for and what to hold their mayor at the LCD accountable for?
Okay, thank you very much. I think there's no difference. It's just the nomenclature. Yeah, so we do the same thing. There's no conflict of interest.
Okay.
So we are on our own because we are both elected at the same time.
Oh, okay. But you just have a different zone they are covering.
It's because of the constitution, you know. If you could remember when the president was the governor of Lagos State, there was an issue between the state and the federal. So the best way they can do is to create a local council development area, you know, to work around. So there's no difference between.
I don't believe you that is a peaceful one. No. Let me take this call. When the call comes in, you will explain. I need to still understand.
Okay.
The two of you, there must be power past power. There must be Oga. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, please, you're live. We'd like to hear your contributions.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing Mr. Mayor. My name is Wahid. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I think it's very important that the chairman put things in perspective. And the reason why is that I don't want to be critical of his bill, but I want to be frank. I live within the LCDA where he is. Specifically, I live at Balogun Lawe, for information. And my wife has a shop not far away from the LCDA office. So, this 75 million that we learned that we shared, how did he share it? How did they identify the beneficiaries? I want him to educate us. I don't know about it. I don't think my wife is even aware of it. So who is even close to that? That's one. Sometimes ago, we saw that they brought trucks of rice to the LCDA. We saw how it's being shared, but we never know how this thing was shared. But when it comes to the time of election, they move around, conversing for our vote. We vote for them. But when the benefit comes, it doesn't get to us. They know our houses. So I think there's a way to do this thing better.
Mr. Wahid, for your question. Now, this is coming from someone within your
local government,
your LCDA, saying that they have a shop close to you, and what was the criteria to get the 50,000, as well as they saw rice entering, but they did not get the rice.
Okay. So thank you very much. Now, we started with Lift to support petty traders. Petty traders in the categories of those people who the value of the market are below 50,000.
Oh.
Yes. So not for those people who own a shop. Okay. Petty traders. Petty traders, you see, before by the time...
On the table.
Yes. So when I started this We Lift program, we realized that a lot of people are going through a lot. And because I went out, I left my home, I said I just want to walk around. And I met this woman selling cola nuts. And I said, how much is the value of your market? And she said 20,000 naira. I said, how do you cope? And she said, yes, I save 500 naira every day. Sometimes I save 1,000 naira. So on average, it's about 15,000 naira. And they will use that to feed their children, pay their house rent, and all that. So I said, okay, if I support you with additional 50,000, what's going to happen? And she said, I'm going to be very happy. My value will go up and all that. So on that spot, I was able to credit her, 50,000 naira. And a few months later, when she saw me, started praising me and all that. And I said, okay, I'm going to start this, supporting people with 50,000 naira. So we started that we do on the SWOT assessment. If you go on our page, you see it on our social media, and you see on the SWOT assessment, we'll ask them, and we'll be able to get their details and all that. We'll take all their details, then through their CDAs. Through their CDAs, through the religious body, through youth council, through the market.
How about the rice?
The rice.
Yes, I'll come to rice. So that is that. For the rice actually, you know, there's this federal government sending trucks to the states. So the rice actually was routed through the CDC. So, but they need to come to the council and use the council office. So by the time the truck landed, they have to share it to all the CDAs. The CDC will share it to all the CDAs.
What's CDA? What's CDC? For those that are
so Community CDA is Community Development Association. It's like branches of these. So you know, you have landlord association, all those things. So these rights were shared through those CDAs. They sent to the religious body. But at the end of the day, what we're saying is, look at what we are sharing. Agboyi Ketu, our population is about 400 and something million, or about 700 million. Now, 700,000, sorry, I said 700 million, sorry. 700,000. Now, we're sharing 1,000.
It can't go
It can't go around. But we need to start something. Now, for this year alone, we've disbursed about 775 million, and we're doing another 50 million. If you divide it, 50,000 divided by 75 million, you know how many numbers you have.
Can't really go round.
And we have done 6,000 so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and sadly, I can't take. Today is a packed
Earlier on, let me ask this question. Earlier on, when you came on the show, you mentioned care to the elderly, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how do you cater to them? Do you have homes for them?
We don't have homes for them, but through the CDAs. That's the reason why we have CDAs. Through the CDAs, what we're doing recently, so we give them, they pick people who are going through a lot. We go to their house, we give them a bag of rice with 50,000 naira, some are 30,000 naira. Then we have actually partnered with LASHMA, Lagos State Health Management Agency.
Okay.
We've disbursed over 6,000. We've actually paid for 6,000 health insurance through LASHMA. So people are enjoying, we're caring for our people, but we can't do that for everybody.
Exactly. I feel really like I feel that there's a whole lot more we can have discussed with you, but we do have a really packed show. And one of the things I've learned from you, especially based on the call from Waid, is we cannot say the government did not work when we did not participate. So maybe if you are an active CDA member, you attend the community development meeting, you will hear when the rice comes, and you will know that you don't need it. There are more people in your community that need it more than you. So we'll continue. Local government, the government is us. We are the government, and we must hold the government accountable. Thank you so much, Mayor Dele Osinowo, for spending a few minutes with us on the show today. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we continue with another guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.